20 car. This is session number 1.
Tim Wilkerson on the left, Bob Task on the right. Tim's had a lot of success up here, and boy, it just keeps on continuing. He makes a very nice pass, 420 a lap time at 298 miles per hour. Gets him in the number 1 spot for now.
So that's one Ford sitting number 1, and that brought out Jeff Arend, who's coming off of his DNQ a week ago, and John Force. Force rams that thing through at a 412, 304 miles an hour, and now John Force is number 1. And that brings up the second session of qualifying.
Jack Beckman and Robert Height. Watch Robert Height blow the rear tire off of that Ford. Jack Beckman goes low in the session, but nobody's even paying attention to him because all eyes are on the car on the right-hand side of your screen. You watch Robert Height have to backpedal the race car after the thing shakes the tires, and then that left rear tire just explodes and basically wipes out that Ford Mustang body. One more look at it, you see him backpedal, gets back on it, and then that left rear tire just comes apart.
But that's not the only time that John Force Racing has had that as an issue on the swing.
Here in Denver, remember the final qualifying session, he blew the body completely off of the car, but they were able to get that thing repaired and come back and win the race.
The third Force team member, Mike Neff, had a parachute come out early in the first session of qualifying. Session 2, it is exactly the same thing, but this time it's a 430, 241, and that got him eventually to 4th.
We go on board here. You look at the chute lever here. There's the air valve that activates the system past the finish line if there's a problem. Now watch the lever as he's going down the track. The vibration moves that forward, allows the release of one parachute, which slows him down considerably before the lever's pulled forward and pulls the second chute. Obviously something that they're going to have to address before this third session.
And you heard all about the work done on Robert Height's car. Here he is now against Paul Lee. And look at this. Height lays down a 413 at 306 miles an hour and moves into second.
Next up, you got John Force and Cruz Pedregon. Cruz with that great 409 in Denver. Remember, he can lay down the number, but is he going to do it this time against John? No, John Force lowers that number 1 spot to a 411 at 308 miles per hour. Cruz makes a nice pass, so a 418, good enough for the number 4 spot.
And now, can Mike Neff get down the track without the chute popping out? He's alongside of Tim Wilkerson. Good run for both, but look at Wilkerson, a 410, 303, and Tim Wilkerson goes number 1.
Well, if we take another look at watch Tim Wilkerson on the right side, when you take the ignition timing out that point, it rattled the tires. He didn't think it was going to make it because it started getting loose. It was sashaying back and forth, even got out of the groove down track as he was really driving that Mustang. But with the cloud cover here, was able to stay stuck and still took him to the number 1 spot. Nice job.
And both Jack Beckman and Jeff Arend were trying to get into the top half of the field. Arend gets down track, but look at Beckman. He lights that thing up big time.
Nice fire out of that Aaron's Mopar right there as you see him bring that thing to a stop. But take another look at it. You're going to see a cylinder go out, pushes it over the other side, another one out on the other side, and it just lights that thing up. Right, a lot of engine damage there, but Jack does a good job getting that car stopped very quickly and gets out of the escape hatch and away from that inferno.
Well, now with 3 sessions done, here's the way it looks. Our new number 1, Tim Wilkerson, followed by the 3 John Force Racing cars. Force, Neff, Height. Fords are 1 through 4.
Bottom 8, you see Jack Beckman in that number 9 spot. And how about Ron Capps, our most recent winner in Sonoma? He's only in the number 13 spot. Bob Task on the bump with a 462 elapsed time.
And only 2 guys haven't made it in, Terry Haddock and Paul Lee.